I can't hear that. I know it. Hurwitzes are here. Rothschilds are here. I don't know what the service leader is. Jesus.
How do you feel about lighting the candles?
I can do it, but I'm very shaky.
I'll light and you bless.
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
You're live as soon as you get up there, so just take your time and start.
Okay.
You're on YouTube.
Okay. Do we have a list of those who are ill?
I can't hear.
No, we don't.
Do we have a list of those who are ill?
No, not a list.
Just ask.
We don't.
Okay.
Just ask. Do you have the yard site list? Do you have the yard site list?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, choir. My closing hymn is Ain Elohim. So what I would like you to do is to take a moment and decide what you would like to have as the closing prayer, the closing song. No. No, a different hymn. As opposed to in-canon. Okay. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Pardon me.
Page 7. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep, for a while, what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Our opening hymn is on page 10, Maya Fe Hayom. Maya Fe Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fe Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. And now we turn to page 2 for the blessing of the candles by Barbara.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please turn to the top of page 14, and we will read together. Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai, bless God's name. Proclaim God's victory day after day. Tell of God's glory among the nations, God's wondrous deeds among all peoples. For Adonai is great and much acclaimed. God is held in awe by all divine beings. All the gods of the peoples are mere idols, but Adonai made the heavens. Glory and majesty are before God. Strength and splendor are in God's temple. Let the heavens rejoice and earth exult. Let the sea and all within it thunder. The fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of Adonai, for God is coming. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its people in faithfulness. Please turn to page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Please turn to page 145. 145. Yikada v'yikada shemei Rabbah. Ve'amadi v'rach yirutei v'yamliv malchutei. V'chayekon v'yomekon u'chayekon v'Yisrael. Please rise for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorah. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorah, Elam Oren. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due. Praise to be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. We read together at the bottom of the next page in English. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. All things pass, but not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with thy word. And we go to the next page and read the English. In each age we receive and transmit Torah.
At each moment we are addressed by the world.
In each age we are challenged by our ancient teachings. At each moment we stand face to face with truth. In each age we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder. In each age the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God. Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadivarim ha'eleh asher Anoki tzavayah arom al-mavdaka v'shinatam lenecha v'dibartam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shoklecha u'v'kunecha u'kashartam le'ot al-yadecha v'chayu l'togafot b'neinecha u'katavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'vishorecha leman tizkeru b'azitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Eloheihem ani Adonai Eloheihem asher hoteti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Eloheihem. And we read together at the bottom of 151. Let's do that. I can't think of the word. What? Thank you. Responsibly. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet the oneness of that grasp is imperfection and evil abound.
Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt, page 151. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and end. So we celebrate His power and thanks for freedom.
Top of page 152. Mi kamoka ma'eli madonai, mi kamoka nekar hakodesh. Nor tehilot o seifele, nor tehilot o seifele. Malchut Eloheinu vanecha, bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe Miriam. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Gahal Yisrael. and the bottom of, we read together the bottom of page 153. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft, evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai haporinu sirkat shalom, aleinu ve'akol, amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. And please, well here, I guess the next page we'll do the Shamaru. V'shameru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam merit olam. B'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam merit olam. B'nei Israel oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shameru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam merit olam. Ki she'shem yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz. V'shameru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam merit olam. Uve'u hashmi'i Shabbat b'nei nafash, Shabbat b'nei nafash, Shabbat b'nei nafash. V'shameru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam merit olam. Please rise for the tefillah, beginning at the top of page 155. Adonai sifataytika ufiya Adonai, soften up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor HaMorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zoher Hasdei Avot Bimot, U'Meiri Gerulah L'Bneihem, L'Man Shemo Yahvah, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezrat Sarah. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient times. They beheld you in the heavens, they held you in their hearts, they sought you in their lives. Their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring near the world we envision, one of justice, freedom, and peace. Please sit down. And we read together at the bottom of the next page. We pray that we might know before whom we stand the power whose gift is life, who quickens those who have accountability, having implanted within us the eternal Spirit.
We pray for winds to disperse the air of sadness, for rains to make parched hope rise again.
We pray for love to encompass us for no reason save that we are human, that we may blossom into persons who have gained power over our lives. We pray to stand upright, we fall, to be healed, we sufferers. We pray to break the bonds that keep us from the world of beauty. We pray to be open to our true selves. We pray that we may walk in a garden of purpose, in touch with the power of the world. Praise be the God whose gift is life, whose cleansing reigns let parched men and women rise again. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei ha'chol. Never eat popcorn before you're going to lead a service. Atah kadosh v'shem hakadosh v'kedoshim l'chol yom kechalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please turn to page 161. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu v'yamcha Yisrael u'tifi b'achava tikabel. Be gracious, Adonai our God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. O may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Page 164. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata umelech Adon le'ol ha'shalom. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim this message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Baruch atah Adonai, Osei HaShalom. We read together at the top of 166. Help me, O God, to find still moments, quiet spaces within to refresh my soul. Cease my questions, my inner debates, and let me meditate on your goodness. Help me, O God, to nurture my courage, recalling moments of strength. Let us remember days of fortitude and the certainty of your regard. Help me, O God, to return to light, to feel the warmth of your touch.
My own face, fingers outstretched, alive, alive in your sight.
Please take a moment for personal and private meditation. Oh, say shalom Biruna, Uya say shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. And we turn to page 253 for the Shabbat. We think of those who are ill or need healing. I have no names.
Mike Myers. Mike Myers
Mike
was on the
Myers?
list. Yes.
John Blaine and Joanne Stone.
Elaine Fields. Christopher Lawson.
Dolores Lennox.
Carl Elam.
Debbie Weiner. And even though Judy is here, we wish her healing. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health, to be restored, and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. Mishavera avotenu, mikora vivotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishavera imotenu, mikora lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with renewal Shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. This is my sermon. No, it's really not. I copied the pages just in case I lost one. We just recited the Mishavera, the prayer for healing. But why? Why do we include this prayer in almost every service And why is it so important in Judaism to care for the sick? Bechur Cholim, visiting the sick, refers to a mitzvah that is a Jewish religious commandment, to visit and extend aid to the sick. It is considered an aspect of Gemilut Chasadim, which is benevolence, selflessness, loving kindness, but is considered a mitzvah on its own. In the book of Genesis, God appears before Abraham and states, "I will establish my everlasting covenant between me and you and your offspring for all time." God indicates that the Jewish people will be numerous in number, and God will give the people land in which to sojourn for all time. God indicates that part of the Jewish part of this covenant is that all Jewish men shall be circumcised at 8 days, or at the time of the covenant. Abraham agrees to the covenant, and the Israelites, including his son Ishmael, were circumcised. Abraham, who was 99 years old at the time, circumcised himself as well. Now, here's the part about caring for the sick. Genesis 18:1 indicates that the Lord appeared to Abraham as he was sitting at the entrance of the tent as the day grew hot. Rabbis have indicated that Abraham was recovering from his circumcision. Although it later states in that portion that Abraham saw 3 men or angels standing before him, the fact that the portion begins that the Lord appeared before Abraham makes it clear that even God made a personal visit to the sick. The act of Bechur Cholim is a mitzvah, a moral and spiritual obligation incumbent upon all Jews to perform. Based on God's personal visit to Abraham, no person, however great, is absolved from the duty of Bechur Cholim, and no task, however menial, may be overlooked. And so, when Rabbi Akiva noticed that one of his students was writhing with fever, alone in his dormitory with nobody to take care of him, Rabbi Akiva himself took charge. He sat with him and swept and tidied and aired his room. I'm guessing that he also had his wife make chicken soup. "Rabbi, you have brought me back to life," the student said. I think it was the chicken soup. Upon leaving his room, Rabbi Akiva warned his students, "Whoever does not visit the sick has blood on his hands." As I said, the act of Bechur Cholim is a mitzvah, a moral and spiritual obligation incumbent upon all Jews to perform. The Bible tells us that human beings are created in the image of God and instructs us to aspire to be like God by emulating God's ways. God visited Abraham while he was recuperating. The Talmud, which is biblical commentary, teaches us that as God visits the sick, so shall you visit the sick. Bechur Cholim is an essential quality of good interpersonal relationships. It reflects the primary biblical law, "and you shall love your neighbor as yourself." By fulfilling this role, we deeply enrich both our lives and the lives of those we visit. When we visit, we attain a spiritual dimension that goes well beyond a simple personal expression of caring and links us with generations past, present, and future. Indeed, we are linked not only to the entire Jewish people, but to all humanity as well, emulating the godly attributes of compassion and loving kindness. So, why is Bechur Cholim important? Because people need to feel connected to the community, especially when they are ill or homebound. Because bringing the community to the bedside lifts the spirit of those who may feel forgotten. because studies have shown that social contact and support positively influence those needing and receiving comfort. Because visiting and caring activities help build community and character. Because we are acting in a godly way when we visit. Recognizing how psychologically important it is that the sick not feel abandoned, the rabbis declared that whoever visits a sick person removes 1/60th of his pain, while he who ignores a sick person hastens the patient's death. An extensive series of rules and suggestions were drawn up by the rabbis to guide people making sick calls. Most of the rules have little to do with ritual, being mostly concerned with interpersonal sensitivity. For example, enter the room cheerfully. The medieval Rabbi Eliezer ben Isaac taught, because an individual carefully monitors the reactions of visitors, and any look of shock on a visitor's face will be terribly demoralizing. Francine Klagsblom, who is editor of the book Voices of Wisdom, cites a humorous story from a 19th century Jewish anthology. A visitor came to see a sick man and asked what ailed him. After the sick man told him, the visitor said, "Oh, my father died of the same disease." The sick man became extremely distressed. But the visitor said, "Don't worry, I'll pray to God to heal you." To which the sick man responded, "And when you pray, add a prayer that I may be spared visits from any more stupid people." There are so many things that can be done for the sick. Visiting, of course, is wonderful. We live in a time when visiting is difficult, but telephone calls can be made, cards can be sent, meals delivered, a gift certificate from someplace which delivers a meal that the family can make its own food choices. Say a prayer with the ill person. Smile. Listen. Just to name a few. So, please remember what Rabbi Simcha Weintraub said in the magazine Shema. Our generation, as those before and after us, will be judged by how we listen to those who are sick and vulnerable, and to those who care for them. In the end, there is no them. There is only us. And now we turn to page 5. Or page 4, pardon me. And Harville Rothschild will be doing the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, v'horei b'riah gofen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho b'yahavo ratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishis, ki hu yom tefillah l'mikroei kodesh, Zecher l'tzias Mitzrayim, ki v'anu v'charta, v'yosanu ki dashta, mikol
The Elena will begin at the middle of page 283. Please rise. Now let us praise the sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of the Creator who set us apart from other families of the earth, giving us a destiny unique among the nations. We bend the knee and bow, acknowledging the supreme sovereign, the Holy One of blessing. Please sit and turn to page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. And we turn to the Kaddish on page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those who our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, life and death. As the name of your loved one is called, please rise if you wish, and we will all rise together to recite the Kaddish. We think of our loved ones whom death has taken in the past year. Bear Arjman, John O. Spence, Arnold Stern, Greg Osing, Lee Routman, Marilyn Woods Allen, Stan Oberman, William Wald, Ira Scholes, Sandra Indies, Roz Zimmerman, Sylvia Falk, Ruth Datz, Sophie Pollock, Sarah Myers, and Natalie Affey. And we remember those who have died of the season in past years. Sophie Bear, Abraham Barker, Ruth B. Barker, Abraham Cohen, Leon Eckstein, Irving Fishman, Bernard Friedman, Meyer Goldblatt, Robert H. Goldman, Otto S. Lieberman, Bruce A. Magidson, Lillian Markowitz, Beverly Mentelos, Shirley Prager, Sylvia S. Rabin, Ralph Snyder, and Harry Taff. Are there any other names that I raised?
Dorothy Spence.
Any others? Please rise as we recite the Kaddish on page 294. Yit Gadol, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, B'almad Yirach Yirutei, Yirach Yirutei, V'chayei Yom, V'yom Yom, V'chayei Kol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agolav, Zman Karev, Yirub Me'onim, Yehei Shemei Rabbah, V'barach, Le'olam, V'me'amayah, Yit Barach, Yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitulam, V'yitaseh, V'yihadar, V'yihalel, V'yihalal, Shemei Kedusha, B'rechu, V'yilam Kol, Birchata, Sherata, V'yishpataja, V'nechemata, Ta'amiram, V'yolamah, V'yibru, Amen. Yehei Shalom, Rabba Ben Shemaiah, V'chaim, Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, V'yibru, Amen. Osei Shalom, Yirmalav, Hu Yasei Shalom, Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, V'yibru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all of Israel, to which we say, Amen. Ian Carolina? Okay. Are there any messages? Please, feel free to say. Mr. President, are there any messages?
Welcome, everybody, and thank you very much for the beautiful service.
Page 322. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Keloheinu, Ein Keloheinu, Ein Keloheinu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Adonenu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Keloheinu, No Eloheinu, No Eloheinu, No Eloheinu, No Eloheinu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.